Let's talk about shedding fat. We don't mean like losing weight. We're talking about going around and shedding fat from your home, shedding furniture and trash, fat, furniture and trash.
Joining us now to help us slim down at home in 30 days is home and lifestyle expert Francesco Bilotto. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Sterling Corey. Great to be here.
Okay, so this advice is for all those pack rats at home, okay? Cleaning out junk at home is really overwhelming for some people.
Yes, yes.
But,
so what are you going to do for it? How are you going to help us out?
Well, you know, I have to say, professional organizers are great. I'm not trying to discourage that. But however, if you want to tackle this by yourself, there's a 30-day plan that I don't want to claim that I invented it, that works for me and people that I work with. And basically, the number one thing you can do is you want to start small, and you want to start it on a Monday. So start your 30-day cycle on a Monday, because every Monday feels like a new year. You're ready to go. You're geared up. You know, we go through our junk drawers, we can go through our closets, our automobiles, our offices, whatever. Here's the thing. Most people schedule hair appointments, nail appointments, gym appointments, kids appointments, but they don't schedule those extra 10 minutes a day just to get stuff done around the house. So that's the number one thing I suggest doing, is starting that 30-day habit with that.
Okay. All right. Now, next you say curate, don't decorate. Tell us what you mean by that.
Yeah. So a lot of people reach out to me and they want help decorating their homes. But I go there and I realize you don't need a decorator. You need a curator to, contain all the clutter and the mess. And I think, it's not normally about taste level. It's about just confusion. So the cure for that, I guess, would be to sort of work like you were in a museum, like a museum curator would do. Look at your surfaces, look at your, spaces, take only the A game and the great pieces that you want to see and leave those there. You realize when you start applying this method in your mind of items that you should keep and items that should not be on said surface. So you kind of are forcing yourself to do that process of elimination.
So we're seeing a before and after. Obviously, dramatic difference here in the before and after. But I got to ask you, because I know there's some people that are like, look, one person's trash, another person's treasure, right? You've heard that saying before. Some people are, they can't let go. It's like, that thing, I can't let that. I can't let that. I can't let, like some people just can't let stuff go. How do you make that? How do you do that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's not what you have, it's where you have it. So everyone says, well, I have kids, I have stuff. That's an excuse. You just don't want to deal with the stuff. One thing you could do is photo journal items. You could take a photo of the item, keep the memory, but not exactly keep the item itself. A lot can be said for artwork, antiques, important papers. You basically want to sort of create a digital curio cabinet, I call it. Back in the day, Grandma had a curio cabinet of knickknacks. Now I have photos of those knickknacks that, were handed down to me that I don't really have space for, but I wanted to remember them. So try to digitize as much as you can. And that's a great question, actually. So thanks for bringing that up.
All right. Well, okay. So next is something that you call the coffee table and couch cure. Explain what you mean by that.
So, okay, we want to cure our, I guess, clutter, right, on the coffee table. So the easiest thing to do there is to not think of it so much as a command center. Most of us in our living rooms, we have phone chargers, we have, remotes and papers and all sorts of things. I want you to think about portion control when you go out to eat, and we have a plate. The smaller the plate, the less food you use. So get a tray. Just simple as that. You've heard it before. To tray or not to tray. Get a tray. Whatever fits on the tray is on the coffee table. When you go out to eat, you don't put your food on the table, you put it on a plate. So think of your surfaces the same way. Whatever fits on here is what we're keeping. You can make it pretty, a flower, a candle, the remotes, but this is our go-to. Same with kitchen islands. It's called a kitchen island for a reason. It's an island, a reprieve, a place to rest your eyes, not a work from home station all the time,
I have to say I'm guilty of that. The coffee table, it's just packed. You don't see any open space.
I will say for you, because we were doing like the work from home stuff a while back. You had like the best looking setup. Your place, so you had us fooled.
That's because I had everything tucked underneath that you can't see it on camera. It's like tucked under like the couch, under the table.
Now the truth comes out.
Yeah.
Francesco, thanks so much for being with us, sharing your tips, and now we know what to do, what to tackle when we all go home. And for more information, more tips, making the most of your home space, follow Francesco on Instagram at FBBNYC.